Alright, recording, let's do this. Hey guys, how you doing? And welcome to another video. My good friend has recommended me a daily exercise. It's kind of like meditation where I spend 10 minutes doing absolutely nothing. First, I put a timer. I make sure there are no distractions. I sit down or lie down, whatever that makes you feel comfortable. Then I focus on my breathing, trying to feel my fingers and my toes. And once I'm in this calm and relaxed mindset, I try to let my mind wander, trying to understand what's telling me, observing where my mind is drifting off to. It takes a bit of practice, but sometimes you get to draw on some really interesting self-reflections. And today, I want to talk about one of these. Let's get into it. I've always found myself being risk adverse. I'm always hesitant to try new things. It's always been hard for me to start things even though it's something I should do or something I need to do. When I'm having a conversation with friends or colleagues, the first thing that usually comes in my mind is a rebuttal, and it's often defensive. Doesn't mean I say it out loud, but it's the first thing that comes into my mind. When I'm buying things, I want the best, aka the flagship. I don't want to experience mediocrity. What if I regret it? What if it can be better? What if I'm missing out? I also buy things that I might need in the near future, thinking that I might need it in case of a pickle. When I'm participating in a social activity with my friends and my family, it seems like I always put winning on top of my priority list than having fun. If I see I have no chance of winning, my interest often drifts away. When I'm starting a hobby, I tend to aim for the stars. This is where I envision myself being extremely talented. I also pretend as if I'm going to make a sizable income. Enjoying the learning process or expressing my creativity often takes a back seat. When I play video games, I'm usually the main character. Especially when it comes to playing single player games or grand strategy games. I usually win and it makes me feel good. And because I know that I'm fairly good at this game and I have a good chance of winning, and also it helps the game is really good, I play that game and again and again. Winning is almost guaranteed. When someone graduates from a school or a university and you get an average grade, then I think that's not good enough. Especially coming up from an Asian upbringing, it's actually shameful if you just pass. Like, you gotta be on top of your class, or you gotta be the best. You gotta come up with distinction average or plus or something like that. And from all this, I've come to realize that I think I'm scared of being average. I think I hate being average. So what do I do if I think I'll just be average? I stop wanting to try new things because you're just going to be average, or worst, be bad at it. I've even associated being average equates to being bad or failure. Only the best is acceptable. My mindset of average is not good enough puts a lot of pressure on starting something. The amount of commitment required to become better than average is often hundreds of hours of work. It requires careful planning and enough resources, as well as advice and tutoring from professionals, so you can cut down that lot of hours required. And in my mind, imagining all these obstacles and hardships and the time I gotta put in, I might as well be climbing Mount Everest. And this mentality really tires you out, doesn't it? If you do, say for example, 100 things in a day, there should really be a couple of things that it should be held up to a high standard. Usually that's, work, personal health, and finance. Now, imagine putting all that effort and work and the time that's needed to get better than average on all the things that you do, 100 of things you do in your life every day, you're bound to slip up at some point. Then you'll realize that some of the things that you're doing is actually normal, or sometimes even below normal, and you feel bad about it. You're frustrated and stressed out. So what do? I just stick to things that I do know or I do really well and stay in my little comfort bubble. But let's think about this for a second. Why do I expect an abnormal outcome when my upbringing is pretty average? Am I naturally talented? Did I go through private schooling? Did my parents nurture me enough when they were trying to make ends meet after immigrating to a brand new country in their 40s, where they didn't even speak English properly? Was my upbringing unique and special enough for me to fit in this above average criteria? I know the answer, and it's a resounding no. I would fit in that typical Asian kid category quite comfortably, where I did pretty okay in school, played lots of video games, and hated sports and ate a lot of junk food. And for you listeners, I'm pretty sure you can think of someone that fits that bill quite easily. Hell, I probably look like him too, because all Asians look the same, right? So what makes you think that I'd be outside of the bell curve? Now, if I told you, guys, I've identified this problem and now it's all fixed, yay, I'd be lying. Frankly, I don't even know if it's a problem. I mean, it's got me here till now, right? And you can see that I've been trying new things, whether it's photography or whether it's this new YouTube stuff. And I spent a lot of money on it as well. I haven't quite reached a conclusion yet. And as of now, it's just a mere observation based on my past experiences and my mind wandering around for 10 minutes. But something else popped up in my mind once that phone alarm rang. And it was from my previous manager, Charlie. And he said, "Don't let perfect get in the way of good enough." And that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. I encourage you to spend some time thinking about a bit of self-reflection. Really ask yourself what your inner self-consciousness is trying to tell you. Maybe you'll find something like this. You never know. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.